Hello, my name is Ben. I'm 21 years old, and in this video, I want to break down to you the rumors, the gossip, everything bad that you need to know about high ticket sales if you're someone who is considering going into the space. I've been in this space for almost 2 years now. I've seen the ups, I've seen the downs, I've seen multiple people come and go. I've seen success, I've seen extreme success, I've seen extreme failure, right? I've seen it all. And I've spoken with so many people who have been in this space. And transparently, I have gone from someone who was working at a hotel, making less than 1K a month, up to a point where I was making 15K a month with high ticket sales. And yeah, it changed my life. It genuinely did. And I'm super, super thankful that I came across this industry, and I'm super thankful that I went through it and started, because it changed my life. But in the same breath, there are lots of things that I wish I knew when I started, and there's lots of things and lots of marketers in this space who claim that it's super easy and claim that you're going to make 10 grand straight away. And I just want to address those today and really break down to you what to expect if you genuinely are going to do this, and really what the potential downsides of high ticket sales are. And look, I'm a coach, right? Transparently, I have a sales training program. People pay me money to help them, but I'm not afraid to say the negatives of this, because at the end of the day, I would rather work with people who know what to expect and are going in with the right mindset, rather than someone who's been sold a dream and is expecting to get results straight away. So yeah, I also want to just put some screenshots up about some results that I've got, deals that I've closed, right? I've walked the walk, I've done this, I have the authority to speak on a topic like this, because I've actually been in this industry and I've seen the ups and downs. So look, let's dive in. So first things first, the money, right? The 10K a month in the next 90 days is probably what you've been promised. Now, I want to address that to begin with, and basically say that it's probably not going to happen. It's very unlikely that that's going to happen. To get to a point where you are on an offer that can make you 10 grand a month consistently, the chances are you're going to have to put in more work than 90 days, right? And I know there's guys in the space who will guarantee that you're going to make that kind of money, but the likelihood is you won't. It won't happen that quickly. 10 grand in a month is a lot of money, right? And if you work a corporate job, it's going to take you a decade to get to that kind of salary, right? So you can't expect to hit those kind of numbers within 3 months. Have people done it? Yeah, they have, right? People have done it, and you might do it yourself, but don't go in with the expectation that that's going to happen, right? And those guys who did hit that 10K month within the first 3 months, fuck me, they worked hard. They would have had to put in a lot of work, a lot of time to get to that point where they could be on an offer making that kind of money. Right, so first things first, please don't expect to hit those numbers straight away, right? The way I teach it to my guys in my program is think 6 to 12 months. If you put your head down for the next 6 months, every day you show up, every day you put in the reps, you jump on coaching calls, you get your calls reviewed, you outreach to get jobs, right? If you put your head down for 6 months in this industry, you will do really, really well. You will make really, really good money. That's exactly what I did. So from the time I started, which was August 2023, to my first 10K month, which was May 2024. So it was 9 months. It took me 9 months to hit my first 5-figure month USD, right? I hit 10K Australian before, but fuck that. We don't talk in Australian dollars. We talk US dollars. So it took me 9 months. So, and I think that's pretty quick. I worked pretty hard to get that. I think I did it a lot quicker than a lot of people I know. But the key thing is, as I was saying, I want to reiterate, just don't come in expecting it to happen straight away. Come in going, right, 6 months, I'm going to stay consistent. I'm not going to expect results straight away. I'm going to expect the first couple months to be tough, because they will be. They will be tough. You're learning something new. You're doing something different. It's going to be hard. But if you get through those first few months, then you'll land your first good gig. Then you'll make your first 3, 4, 5, 6K in a month. You then have the freedom to be able to travel. You can go to countries like, for me, I hit £5,000 in a month in January 2024. And I went to Spain. I traveled around Spain for a couple of weeks. I went to Germany and lived with my mate. And it was insane. It was so good. And that kind of money allows you to do that, right? So look, 10K a month is put on a pedestal, but you can basically live, if you're a young guy and you don't have responsibilities, or a young girl and you don't have a family, you don't have bills to pay, maybe you're not renting in the UK, then £5,000 a month, you can basically go wherever you want. Like, it's such a cool feeling to get to that point. But again, it's not going to happen straight away. So my mindset, my advice to you going in would be stay consistent for the first 6 months. Keep putting in the reps, keep putting in the work. And if you do that, and if you show up every day, then you will do well. I promise you'll do well. But don't come in expecting those results and then give up after a month when things aren't going your way, and then you call it a scam and a pyramid scheme just because it didn't work for you. But the reality is it does work, right? So stay consistent, and don't expect to get those results straight away. Cool. So that's the first thing I want to address. The second thing is that when it comes to the skill set, like that is the most important thing. And again, it takes time for a skill set to develop. You're not going to become a top sales rep straight away. It takes reps. The only way you get good at something is by failing, being bad, and then improving, right? It's like driving a car. The first time you get behind the wheel of a car, you're going to be shit. You weren't born with God's gifts of driving. Like, no one was. The way you get good is by stalling, is by fucking up. But then every time you do it, every time you get behind the wheel, it gets easier. You understand it more. You're looking in the mirrors. You know how the gears work, right? And that's exactly the same with this. So expect to be shit to begin with, and that's okay. You want to be shit because it's when you're shit, it's when you're in the trenches, that's when you learn the most, right? So expect to be bad and push your ego down, push your ego away, expect to be shit, okay? And then stay consistent, do the reps, get on an offer. Again, you're not going to be great straight away, but that's okay. You'll improve, you'll start getting better, the commissions will increase, right? What I'm trying to get across to you is that to become a top sales rep, it's not going to happen straight away. It takes reps, and reps take time, right? Every call is an hour. Like, you need hours of calls to become a top sales rep, to improve, to get better. Like I have, I've probably done at this point close to 1,000 sales calls over the past couple of years, right? And even I can still improve. I'm open to admit that, but it takes that time. It takes that consistency to really learn about yourself. It takes the failed objection handling. It takes the people telling you to fuck off, right? You need to go through those, right? That needs to happen in order for you to then become a really, really good sales rep who can make top money, top commission, right? So again, don't expect to become that killer rep straight away, right? Expect it to take time. What else is there to talk about in this space? What other terrible lies have been told to you by other people? You're going to have to work, right? You're not high ticket sales. You're not a business owner, but that's okay. That it's not your own business, but you make a lot of money, but you still have to work. High ticket sales is basically just another way of saying that you're a sales rep. You're just an online sales rep instead of in person. So yeah, the benefits are insane. You can work from wherever. You have uncapped commissions, so you can make a shit ton of money. But in order to make those commissions, you still have to work. You still have to jump on sales calls. You know, you're not just going to be doing whatever you want in the day. If you want to make the money, you have to be on the calls, and the calls take time. So the likelihood is, yeah, if you want to hit the 10K months, you're probably going to be doing 4, 5, 6 hours of work a day, right? Don't expect to just kick your feet up and do nothing and be able to go to Bali and just not work and make money, because that's not the case, right? You still have to work. You still have to show up. You still have to do the calls, right? So don't expect that. Like, realize that it's still technically a job. You're still technically working a job, but it's such a good job because, as I said, you have that flexibility to do it from wherever, to set your own schedule, to have uncapped commissions where you can make a shed load of money, to work for awesome people who are way more open-minded. They're not depressed. They don't hate their lives like a lot of lot of corporate jobs in the UK. These guys are cool people, right? And they will reward you. You can meet them in person. You can travel with them like I have. And it's one of the coolest things to be able to do that. But again, it's still a job. You still have to show up. And if you want to make money, you have to go on the calls to close the deals, to make the money, to make the commission, right? So don't expect, I know a lot of people in this space, again, they say, oh yeah, you can take one call a day and just spend the rest of the time on the beach. No, that's not the case. You still have to work. And if you want to become a really good sales rep, then you're probably going to be reviewing your calls as well. You're going to be jumping on coaching calls with your mentor, for example, right? So that's going to be also more time out of the day dedicated to training. But that's okay, because again, the aim is to become such a good sales rep that you can be dropped anywhere in the world with a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection, and you will make 10 grand a month. And I have done that. I'm in a position now where I can confidently say, you give me a laptop, you give me a Wi-Fi connection, you drop me in buttfuck middle of nowhere in Venezuela, I will find a job and I will I will get on an offer that can make me 10k a month. I'm very, very confident that I could do that. And that should be your aim too, right? The aim shouldn't be to stack loads of money and then just fuck off and do nothing for months on end and travel. Yeah, of course, have fun, right? Travel the world, meet people. Of course you want to do that. That's the whole point you're doing this, right? Is to have more flexibility. But remember, you still have to work. Remember, you're still going to have to show up every day. And remember that if you're bad, if you don't perform, then you're going to lose your job. You're going to get sacked, right? You have to be good, right? So the key thing is learn the skill set, right? Learn the skill set, get extremely good. But those are the three main things. Those are the three main sort of rumors that I want to break with you now. Is one, it's not going to happen overnight. Dedicate 6 months. If you dedicate that, you will do well. You will make good money. So that's one. 2, skill set. It takes time to be good at something. It takes failure to be good at something. So show up every day, expect to be shit, expect your first few dials not to be good, expect to have to grovel, have to get in the trenches for the first few months. But that's normal, right? Normalize that. Realize that that's just part of the process. And if you're willing to push through that, then you'll do well, because most people won't push through that. Most people will give up. So that's secondly. In order to be a good sales rep, you have to be shit to begin with, and you have to fail. And thirdly is it's still technically a job, right? You can't just do nothing. You're still going to have to show up every day. You're still going to have to work. You might potentially have to do some sales calls on the weekends. But again, remember, it's that flexibility. It's the ability to work from wherever in the world. That is the main benefit. It's the ability to be able to work from Montenegro like I did. And for someone like me, it was amazing, because I would have maybe 5 or 6 calls in the day. That's 5 or 6 hours. I would wake up in the morning. I would go down. I would swim in the sea, right? Morning swim with my mate Carter, who I was staying with. We'd come back. We'd have breakfast. I'd then take calls. I'd make money. I'd make commission. Then in the evening, go down, have a few pints, go for a swim, right? It gives you that flexibility to be able to work from wherever. So yes, high ticket sales is not a get rich quick scheme, but it's also not a scam. It's also not a pyramid scheme, and it does work. But like anything in life, if you want to get the best result, if you want to be making 5 figures a month, then you have to put in the work. It's not going to fall into your lap, right? And it's going to take some time. So hopefully that was useful for you, especially if you're someone who's considering getting into this space. I hope that this video busted a few myths, maybe made you rejig it a bit. Again, I don't want this to like put you off from doing it, but I just want to set real expectations that it's not going to be a walk in the park. So yeah, hopefully you found that useful. If you want to find out more about what I do, check out my Instagram, watch a few of my YouTube videos. Of course, I sell a program, so I'm going to plug it. If you want to learn how you can speed this process up and get help from someone like me, who's not going to bullshit you, but is someone who has been there, has done that, and will definitely be able to help you, then check out a video that I'll leave in the description that breaks down high ticket sales, and then you can book in a call. But yeah, any questions, if you want any questions, I'll get back to you on Instagram. I'm more than happy to give you as much for free value as possible. But yeah, hopefully that was useful, and I'll catch you in the next one.